Wion brings you a continuous coverage from the ASEAN Summit. It is day 2 of the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to Thailand, and Prime Minister Modi has co-chaired the 16th ASEAN India Summit with his Thai counterpart General Prayut Chan-O-Cha, on whose invitation he is visiting the country. The Prime Minister highlighted that ASEAN is an integral part of India's Act East policy. He said that India is looking forward to strengthening cooperation with the member nations.
भारत की एक्ट ईस्ट पॉलिसी हमारे इंडो पैसिफिक विजन का एक महत्वपूर्ण भाग है। आसियान हमारी एक्ट ईस्ट पॉलिसी का मर्म है और सदैव रहेगा। इंटीग्रेटेड, संगठित और आर्थिक रूप से विकासशील आसियान भारत के बुनियादी हित में है। मैं हाल ही में आसियान इंडिया एफटीए की समीक्षा के निर्णय का स्वागत करता हूं। इससे हमारे आर्थिक संबंध न सिर्फ और मजबूत बनेंगे, बल्कि हमारा व्यापार भी और बैलेंस होगा। मैरीटाइम सुरक्षा, ब्लू इकोनॉमी और मानवीय सहायता के क्षेत्रों में भी अपने साझेदारी को हम मजबूत बनाना चाहते हैं।
Earlier in the day, the Prime Minister highlighted that India is now one of the top destinations for foreign direct investment.
Our GST has fulfilled the dream of economic integration of India. We want to work towards making it even more people-friendly. All of what I have said just now makes India one of the world's most attractive economies for investment. Friends, India received $286 billion FDI in the last 5 years. This is almost half of the total FDI in India in the last 20 years. We are among the top 10 FDI destinations as per UNCTAD, moved up 24 places on the Global Innovation Index of WIPO in 5 years.
After this ASEAN India Summit, Prime Minister Modi also held talks with Thai Prime Minister Prayut Chan-O-Cha. The Indian Prime Minister also met Indonesian President Joko Widodo, where trade and investment were reviewed. Now, Prime Minister Modi will be attending a gala dinner later in the evening. Meanwhile, the MEA has come forth and said that Prime Minister Modi and the other ASEAN leaders have agreed to come together to defeat terrorism, along with sustained cooperation in the Indo-Pacific region.
Prime Minister spoke about terrorism and the threat that it poses to international peace and security, and similarly the ASEAN leaders also spoke about the importance of working together to defeat terrorism. So both sides referred to the issue of terrorism. South China Sea also, there was discussion. Prime Minister spoke on South China Sea, and so did the ASEAN leaders collectively, and many of them individually referred to South China Sea. And as you said, what were the other issue? The other issue, the takeaways, one of the main takeaways was to work together in Indo-Pacific, a question that was referred earlier. And the reason, of course, the convergence, I mentioned the other issues, because the principles on which we are approaching the Indo-Pacific region are similar to each other.
And so all eyes are on India at the ASEAN Summit. Will India take the plunge and sign the Regional Cooperation and Economic Partnership deal? The summit on RCEP is all set to take place, but there's been a lot of politics surrounding the deal already. Yesterday, Congress President Sonia Gandhi had attacked Modi government on the state of the economy. She said that signing the RCEP deal will hit farmers, shopkeepers and small enterprises. She also went on to say that the government should instead acknowledge the severe slowdown and come up with a comprehensive resolution. India's Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal was quick to counter Sonia Gandhi's statement. In a series of tweets, Goyal said that India joined the negotiations for this pact during the UPA regime in 2011. The trade deficit with RCEP nations was increased by $71 billion under the Congress government in 10 years. Goel also highlighted that the Congress government opened 74% of the Indian market to ASEAN countries. In an interview to Thai media, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that India remains committed to a comprehensive and balanced outcome from the ongoing RCEP negotiations. He said that India wants a win-win outcome from the RCEP deal. India and the ASEAN nations are yet to resolve their differences over rules of origin, e-commerce and auto-trigger mechanism. Philippines' Department of Trade and Industry Secretary, without naming India, said that it was the only country that is yet to agree with the RCEP deal. Listen in to what he had to say.
Text-based wise, I would say it's almost concluded. All countries are in, but in the text-based chapters, of course, one country would prefer to have some kind of confirmation before they can really totally agree, to the conclusion of all these 20 chapters.